Hey babe, here's that stress relief tea you asked for.
Oh, awesome. Just what I needed.
Just put it here.
Oh, right there. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool.
So now that you're all calm and relieved,
Working on it, yeah.
is it alright if I take a quick trip to the store?
Sure.
Maybe get us something for supper?
Okay.
Alright. Well, I'm going to leave you, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave you with the kittens.
Okay.
And the puppies. So, here's the basket of kittens for you. Take good care of them.
Okay. Ooh. I got them. Alright. Put them down here.
Oh, babe, and here's the basket of puppies for you, too.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
A few more responsibilities.
Yeah, puppies.
Puppies.
Okay,
Be
that's
good.
cool. Good, good. I'll keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Alright. Well, let me get to this tea. Oh, it's hot.
Hey, FRON.
It's time to meet me in the game room.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so Meet me in the game room.
Didn't want to be back here so soon or ever. What's up, guys? So, it's back. Unfortunately, in the Tron 600 for Greg, when it got to Greg, he had an audio issue. It crackles. It crackles through the audio when it's hooked up to the TV. So, I have to figure out now why. So, I'm going to get this thing apart and we'll see if we can get it right this time. And have this be the end of this saga. So, let's see what we can do. Alright there, peeps. It has been weeks, and I had high intentions for making a really crazy continuation of the whole Tron story and making some production for all that, but figuring out the issues with the Atari was my first priority, so that's where I started, and it led me down an unbelievable road and journey and learning experience, and so here it is. There's the Tron 600 once again rebuilt. Now, in the last episode you saw in the controllers I built a little amplifier circuit, which is right there. You get a good look at that amplifier circuit. I built that inside of here, and I had a little nut and washer and stuff for the heat sink to help keep it cool, and the speakers in there. And I had never made that circuit before, and I still don't know for sure, but I do believe that something in my circuitry went wrong, and I really messed up Greg's original Atari 2600. The motherboard inside of the Tron 600 now is a new motherboard from a different Atari that I had, because I did something to Greg's original motherboard that I tore my hair out trying to figure out. And after a couple of weeks of not being able to get anywhere with it, I told Greg about it and continued on with another motherboard, building it into the same machine. So that's where we're at. And you know, I thought this was going to work. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't have anything to do with what happened. The original one, I ended up getting a sound glitch, and you heard it crackling through there. A little crackle's not a big deal, but if you've got your TV on loud, or you're running through a home theater system with a subwoofer especially, that's going to pound and crackle and sound like your house is coming down. So you can't have noises like that. You need a clean sound, clean picture. You can't have garbage in there. So I'm glad Greg sent it back, and I'm glad I finally got it right this time. So what I have done here, and it took me a while to do, after I figured out the motherboard was just completely bad and I had to start over with that, I went back and I took out my amplifier circuits out of the controllers, and I bought some pre-wired, pre-made amplifier boards, and I wired those in on the back. You remember the switches that were on the back? Okay, I got rid of the switches, and now it's volume knobs and an LED light in there, just because I had an extra hole. So that's a volume for the speaker that's in each controller. Separate volume for each speaker, for each controller. That's all that is back there. Now you can turn it up if you want to or not, but the sound is just speakers in the controller, no more amplifiers in here. Everything's built into the machine. And there is no more crackle, and it looks great, it sounds great. So that had to have been the problem, because it's better. On top of that, since I had it back, I wanted to do extra, just because. Adventures of Tron. I'm sending this one with it, Greg. Alright, so here's the Tron 600, and so you'll see a few new doodads in here. We've got a temperature gauge right here. You see on top of the main chip down here, in this plastic tube, there's a little sensor, and that's reading your temperature for your CPU. Over here is another little gauge. This is your voltage coming into your system. So you can tell if what's drawing, what games are going to draw more power. You'll see that fluctuate a little bit. And you'll tell if your power supply goes bad, because that will read wrong. But there's a couple extra doodads. And the Tron 600 looking beautiful. Reset it there. Yeah. Let's see. I'm supposed to get those. Watch out for these guys. But that sounded pretty good, right? So, check this out too. Let me turn that volume down on TV. And now, that sound that you're getting, that's me. Right here, that's the sound from the controller. Pretty cool, right? That's both controllers, so it's basically you get like a stereo sound out of this thing now. You kind of get a stereo anyway, because you do get left and right audio. But yeah, I mean, that's it. It's looking great. There is no crackle in the sound anymore. There's no more crackle in the picture. It's looking good. It's playing good. Cool. So there it is. It looks good. It sounds good. It's working good. I've had this thing sitting on the bench for almost 2 weeks, just playing it. I come down here every day. I turn this thing on and I let it run, and I play it, and I play it, and I play it, and I play it. And it's clean, it's been good, it's holding up like a trooper now. So I'm packing this thing up. It's going in the mail tomorrow, Greg, and I hope you love it. I love it. I'm happy with this thing. I am 10 times happier than I was before, and I was pretty happy before. So, awesome. But, that being said, I hate the fact that it didn't work for you the first time. It breaks my heart as someone who builds these things in hopes that someone's going to get it and be like, wow, this is the greatest thing in the world. For them to get it and have it not work like it should work. That's horrible. It's so horrible. So, Greg, I got something for you that I hope helps make up for all the time this has taken me, and just the issues get this out of the way. Let me make a little room over here for this. So I had talked to Greg again, and I asked him if he had any newer systems, and he said he didn't. That he just had a couple of Ataris and the ColecoVision, all stuff that I've worked on for him. So, Greg, my friend, I built this Xbox like 2 years ago. The modding scene for Xboxes was huge. People were doing all kinds of crazy mods and adding all kinds of stuff to them, and I was doing that too. We've probably got a dozen to 20 Xboxes in our collection, and half of those I've modded and I've done crazy things to, and we almost don't touch them. So that's the story with this. I built this thing a couple of years ago. I turn it on once in a while to show people that it's really cool, but I never play it. So I'm sending it down to you, Greg, and I hope you enjoy this thing. I'm going to show you what it does when you turn it on, but I just want to tell you what you got here. So you've got an original Xbox, and this is in a ghost case. They don't make these anymore. This was one of the very last ones sold. I think I got it because I got this one in a green one, and there are no more green ones in the world. And this is a clear one that's very nice, and I got you a nice black dot on there. But for mods, I did other mods. So look at that. There's a screen. You can watch your games right here. There's no sound in here, but you can watch all your stuff here and play it right here if you wanted to. There's a big light up, bigger fan back here that just lights up and is cool. I put in, right there is a green LED light. That is a hard drive activity light. So when the hard drive's thinking, that's going to flash. Just some flashiness, kind of cool. Each of the controller ports, there's a pink LED inside of there to light it up kind of pink. And running down the sides are LEDs on the inside. There you go, man. This thing is awesome. I'm going to fire up here and I'll show you what it does. Oh yeah, before I hooked it up, wireless controllers. These are Mad Catz brands. A lot of people complain about Mad Catz brand. These little controllers were the best thing that Mad Catz ever made. And these are a couple of really neat ones out of the collection. So we've got those for you, and the dongles for them. So those are coming along too. And I hope you guys get a kick out of this. It's a fun system. Now, wait till you see what it does. On the bottom of your new controllers is your power switch and your channel switch. You only need to worry about the channel switch on this one. The other one is just automatic, but they both have the power switch right there. So don't forget to turn that on. Don't forget to turn it on. You'll turn it off. You'll waste your batteries. But yeah, so check this out. This system has in it, you can play DVDs if you want to through there. It's got Xbox games in here. If you go into this list, you'll find 100 or so, I think 125 Xbox games. There's a ton of awesome stuff in here. And there's some mods too. These are CPX. You'll see what that is when you get in there. But yeah, there's all kinds of games. The further down this list you go, the more you're going to find of just awesome games. Yeah. Mojo, my cousin, programmed that game. Very cool. Okay, we're back out of there, and we're going to go to emulators. Under emulators, you're going to find emulation for everything you can think of. Commodore 64, 3DO, Atari 2600, 7800, Atari Lynx, CD32, that's TI-99, CoinOps. CoinOps has got about 1,000 or so arcade games in it. Original arcade ROMs, awesome. ColecoVision. I mean, all these things are going to have like the full library in there, so they're full of stuff. Didn't expect them. That's a ZX Spectrum emulator. Dreamcast VMU. That one's kind of silly. It's little games for the VMU for the Dreamcast. Game Boy Advance. This is awesome. There's tons of Game Boy Advance on here. Hypervision, that's another one full of arcade machines. Intellivision. Oh, the Game Boy Advance, that's got Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, so there's tons and tons of games under that one. Hypervision, Intellivision, MAME, that's another one, classic, full of arcade machines. MAME is great. We all love MAME. There's NES, there's the full library for NES. MSX 1 and 2, there's a bunch of stuff on there. Neo Genesis, there's a few games in there for Genesis. Neo Geo Pocket, that one's full. Final Burn, this is another arcade one. This is full of Neo Geo games and all the Capcom CPS games. So tons of good stuff. That's a different Nintendo emulator. There's N64, Odyssey 2, Pokemon Mini, Sega CD, Game Gear and Master System, Genesis 32X, Sega SG-1000. There's some PlayStation games on here, Super Nintendo, Supervision, TurboGrafx, the Commodore VIC-20, the Virtual Boy, Virtual Jaguar. This one doesn't work so good on here, but it's on there just because. Wonder Swan, Sharp X68000, Neo Rain. This is another arcade emulator. It's not as good as the other ones, but it's got some neat stuff in there. If you play around, you'll find some cool stuff. X-Rain, that one is Neo Geo CD games, Vectrex games, and that's it. I mean, that's it. I say that's it, but I mean that's thousands of games, and I can't wait for you to get it because you're gonna love this thing. And that's it. You don't need to go into applications for anything. There's nothing in there that's going to be useful to you or system or any of that. Just games and emulators is where you want to go. If you want to watch a DVD, you get your DVD controls. Or this is always an Xbox, so you can just put in Xbox games if you get any. But you probably don't need them because this thing's got a lot of stuff in it. And yeah, so that's that. Okay, and then when you're all done, go all the way down to the bottom. Shut it down. Or you can just shut it down with a regular power button. So there it is. Not much of a repair video, but I did show you a cool modded Xbox. I just didn't show you me doing any of the mods. And I showed you the Tron 600 all fixed up, but I didn't show you me fixing it up because that was madness. And we didn't have hours and weeks to show you too much video. But I wanted to show you the whole story and show you something cool because I made this and I never filmed it before, and I'm sending it off, so I had to get it on film to document it. But there is the Xbox. We call this one the best around. It's got a 360 gig hard drive in it that is loaded up full of stuff. Years worth of games. So Greg, enjoy it, man. I hope you have a good time. I hope you and your wife have the rest of your life enjoying this thing. And if something happens to it, let me know, because these things are pretty fun to fix. And I do have the original hard drive for it, and I will keep it. And if the thing dies for you later in life, and you want that original hard drive, get a hold of me. I've got it. And other than that, enjoy it, man. This has been a really fun experience. This has been a great learning experience. The Tron 600 is beautiful, and I love that thing, and I'm so proud of it, and you're going to love it, and I can't wait for you to show it off to everybody. And this Xbox, you're going to have a blast with this thing. So you're going to be a gaming fool. Alright, but that is all for this episode of Meet Me in the Game Room. I hope everybody can come on back here and join the channel and do some comments, and, you know, let me know what you want to do, and I will fix some stuff for you, or fix your stuff, or whatever. We'll see. We'll take it from here. That is all. Meet me in the game room, peeps. One other thing I wanted to point out here is, you see right here, there's now a hole in the window. A hole in the window. Yes, I had to melt a hole through there because I want to show you it right down. Let's see. Let me zoom in even. Okay, so right there, see? Alright, there's the hole. Now behind it, down there on the motherboard, that little potentiometer, just put your screwdriver. This is what the hole is for. Put your screwdriver in that hole. Get my fingers out of the way. And you can get into that potentiometer. And I just wanted to give you access to that because that adjusts the colors on the screen. So if you know, one of your games looks a little off color-wise, you know, get your fine screwdriver. You can stick it down in that hole, and you'll see the slot, and just give it a fine turn either way, and you'll see it's a fine adjustment, and it's very hard to settle in one spot. So that's why I put the hole in there and made it easily accessible, so you could adjust it anytime you wanted to very quickly.